Alex Eala opens up about racial struggles in the U.S., leads humanitarian efforts for athletes of color. Under the floodlights of the Miami Open, Alex Eala had just wrapped up one of the most emotional matches of her career. Sweat glistened on her forehead, but there was something deeper behind her eyes, a fire that had nothing to do with the game. The young Filipino tennis sensation, now a global name in the sport, wasn't just playing for trophies anymore. She was playing for identity, for equality, and for a cause much bigger than herself. As the crowd cheered, Eala took the mic during her post-match interview. Her voice trembled slightly, not from fatigue, but from the weight of the truth she was about to unveil. "It's not always easy being who I am," she said softly. "In America, sometimes people don't see me as an athlete first. They see my color, my background, my accent. But that's why I play, to prove that we belong." Those words echoed across the tennis world like a rallying cry. Alex Eala had just done what few athletes dare to do. She spoke about race, identity, and the silent struggles that so many minority athletes endure behind the scenes. From Manila to Miami, the journey that forged her strength. Alexandra, Alex, Eala's rise to tennis superstardom is the stuff of modern legend. Born and raised in the Philippines, she started swinging a racket almost as soon as she could walk. Her family nurtured her dreams, but they also knew that for Alex to reach the elite levels of tennis, she would have to step into a world far different from her own, one that wasn't always welcoming to athletes of color. At age 12, she moved to Spain to train at the Rafael Nadal Academy, surrounded by players from all over the world. There, she learned not only about topspin and footwork, but about diversity, culture, and resilience. By the time she entered the international circuit, she was already a proud symbol of Filipino excellence, a face of Southeast Asian representation in a sport historically dominated by Western players. But when she transitioned to the United States circuit, the reality of racial barriers struck her with unexpected force. The unseen battles. Eala recounted in a recent documentary interview that during one of her early tournaments in the U.S., a coach from another country made an offhand remark. "She's good for an Asian." It was meant to be casual, perhaps even complimentary in the speaker's mind, but to Alex, it cut deep. "Comments like that make you question your worth," she said, "as if being Asian, being Filipina, means you're automatically a step behind. But we're not behind, we just come from different paths." She also remembered moments when she was overlooked for sponsorship opportunities despite outperforming peers. There were marketing campaigns that wanted to feature her, but only as an exotic newcomer, never the champion in her own right. It was subtle racism, the kind that hides beneath smiles, compliments, and marketing slogans. And it took years for Alex to learn how to confront it not with anger, but with grace and purpose. Finding strength in purpose. By 2025, Alex Eala had achieved a level of fame and financial success that gave her power, and she knew exactly how to use it. Inspired by figures like Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka, who spoke openly about race and identity in sports, Eala decided to channel her experiences into advocacy. She launched Equality Through Sport Foundation, a humanitarian initiative focused on empowering young athletes of color, particularly from Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America. The foundation provides scholarships, mentorship programs, and safe housing for athletes training abroad who often struggle with financial and emotional challenges. "I don't want anyone to feel invisible the way I did," she said at the launch event in New York. "Talent has no race. Dreams have no borders." The foundation quickly gained support from global tennis icons, including Coco Gauff, Frances Tiafoe, and On Jabeur. Together, they began hosting international youth tournaments promoting inclusion and representation. Events where flags from small nations flew proudly alongside those of tennis powerhouses. Leading by example, Eala's humanitarian work didn't stop at funding programs. She used her platform to tell real stories. She personally visited young athletes from underrepresented communities, from Manila's Tonda district to Los Angeles' inner-city training centers. In one emotional visit to a community tennis program in Atlanta, she met a 12-year-old Filipino-American girl named Lila, who told her, "I didn't know we could be this good. People always tell me tennis isn't for us." Eala knelt, smiled, and replied, "Don't ever let them tell you who tennis is for. You belong wherever your heart leads you." Moments like that define her legacy more than any championship ever could. The backlash and her calm defiance. However, not everyone celebrated Alex's activism. Some critics accuse her of bringing politics into sports. Online trolls targeted her with racist comments, mocking her Filipino accent or her advocacy work. One viral social media post read, "She should stick to hitting balls instead of lecturing about race." But Alex refused to back down. In an interview with The Guardian, she said, "When people tell me to stick to tennis, what they're really saying is stay silent. But silence helps no one. I can win matches, but if I don't use that voice, who will?" Her courage inspired thousands, especially in Asia, where young athletes often face cultural and racial stereotypes. She became not only a champion, but a symbol, proof that representation in sport matters, global recognition, and support. By mid-2025, the equality, the woman behind the mission. Despite her global fame, Alex remains deeply grounded. She still trains in humble facilities when visiting Manila, greeting young players with warmth and humility. "They remind me why I started," she often says. Friends describe her as someone who never forgets a name, who listens more than she speaks, and who believe that empathy is the greatest form of strength. Her Instagram isn't filled with luxury or endorsements. It's filled with stories of young athletes she's helped. Each post carries a message of hope, equality, and resilience, a message that echoes forever. In a recent interview with Time magazine, Eala summarized her mission perfectly. "Tennis gave me a platform, but humanity gave me purpose. I can't change the past, but I can make sure the next generation feels seen, safe, and celebrated." As she continues to break records on the court, her true victories happen far beyond the baseline, in the hearts of those who now believe they can be champions too, no matter color of their skin. Epilogue: Beyond the Lines. The story of Alex Eala is no longer just about tennis. It's about courage, the courage to face prejudice with dignity, to transform pain into purpose, and to build bridges where walls once stood. When she steps on the court today, millions see more than a player. They see a movement. They see a Filipino woman who turns struggle into strength. They see a symbol of change and proof that sometimes the greatest victories aren't won in sets or points, but in hearts. And as she once said, looking out over a stadium full of young faces of every color and nation, we are more than the color of our skin. We are the colors of our dreams. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.